Good morning. Happy Thursday. It's warming up. It was freezing the other morning. It felt like October, not August. So we're still talking about state and talking about all of the ways that we manage our state. And one of the things I want you to remember is you're doing this all the time. So you're not learning to do something that you don't already do. You're learning how to do what you do better. You know, this is like breathing. You are doing this all day, every day. All day, every day, you are managing your state, or you're letting somebody else manage your state. You know, remember, you want to design your life. You don't want to become part of somebody else's plan for the design of their life. So if you're going to do this all day long, you might as well do it in a way that serves you. So how do we manage our state? Well, remember, there's three things. There's a triad that decides our state. First one, physiology, our physical body. Second one, focus/belief. And yesterday we talked about the focus portion of it. Whatever we focus on is what we get. Where focus goes, energy flows. And, you know, remember a lot of language nowadays about vibration. Abraham Hicks talks a great deal about vibration. And even Einstein said that. Einstein said that whatever the vibrations were that you put out in your body, then that's what you would get back, that was physics, that this wasn't metaphysics, that this was actual physics. So if your vibrations are positive and forward and abundance, then that's what you're going to get back. If your vibrations are negative and things are going to go badly, well, then that's what you're going to get back. So, yeah, Einstein said that wasn't metaphysics. That was true science. So that comes to the focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So the other leg, it's focus/belief. Belief means, and good morning, Tracy, I'll see you this evening. Belief means whatever you believe about an event is the event. Stephen Covey talked a great deal about this in his 7 Habits. He talked about the gap, that between a stimulus and a response, there was this gap. And in that gap, you decided really what your life was going to be. Tony Robbins, one of his most quoted phrases is, "It's in the moments of your decision that your destiny is shaped." In that moment between the stimulus and how you respond, that's really where your life is decided. That's the pinpoint of everything. Why you manage your state is so when you're faced with those moments, you're in a much more resourceful state so that your response can be something that helps you as opposed to hurts you. And remember, that gap has a moment where you get to decide. You know, we can't control events. We can't control the death of a loved one. We can't control COVID. We can't control what other people are going to do. You know, I cannot tell you, especially when I first started practicing law and I was practicing family law, what people that came into my office almost always wanted is they wanted the court to make the person that they were married to or had a child with be a different person. And so I constantly had to have the conversation. The court can't do that. The court can't make them different. You want them to be responsible. Well, they're not going to be. They haven't been, so they're not going to be. So that moment of decision is really where your life happens, because you can decide how you respond to those events. And you can respond in a positive way, or you can respond in a negative way. You can respond in a way that makes your life better or makes your life worse. You can respond in a way that makes the situation better or makes the situation worse. You can respond in a way that puts yourself in a positive state and helps your body, or you can respond in a way that destroys you. But that gap from the stimulus to the response is really where that's where the rubber meets the road. That's everything in your life. So all of this stuff that we're doing is to make it so that when you are faced with those moments, you make better decisions. You make decisions that help your life. So your belief about anything gives that thing its meaning. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning that we give it. Hear that again. That's Deepak Chopra. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning that we give it. So you get to decide. You get to choose if something that happens is a positive event or a negative event. I've told the story of the literal and financial destruction of my life 9 years ago in terms of the building that I was occupying professionally, and it was all financial. But I started calling that my personal growth opportunity. And people would laugh, but as I started saying that to myself again and because I had to tell the story a whole bunch of times, every time I said that, I said, this is my personal growth opportunity. Well, that's what it started to become. The language that we use towards things gives those things their meaning. That's why you got to watch things when some people use horrible language all the time. They say it was devastating. They say it was catastrophic. They say it was, okay, you're talking about a nail appointment. You got a flat tire. All right, bummer. But it's not a kid's going to die in a couple of weeks of cancer, okay? It's a flat tire. So some people, everything is, oh my God, then that language, that belief gives that event that feeling. So instead of that, they could be using a different belief. They could say, it was inconvenient. Well, what happened this morning? Well, I got a flat tire. Well, that sucks. Yeah, it was inconvenient. Okay, which one feels a little bit different? So the belief, remember I did the Barbra Streisand and the Bruce Springsteen example. Barbra Streisand said, let's do Bruce Springsteen first. Bruce Springsteen was asked why he gets on stage and stays on there for so long, how he just loves it. And he says, I never grow tired of it. Every time I'm getting ready to get on that stage, my heart starts to race, my palms start to sweat, my body gets a little bit tense, and I realize I'm so excited and I'm ready to go. Barbra Streisand, when asked how come she couldn't perform, she said, when I get ready to get on stage, my heart starts to race, my body gets tense, my palms start to sweat, and then I know that I'm having a nervous breakdown. Same experience. They've just given a different relationship to the experience. So the belief that you have about the experience gives the experience its meaning, and this creates a chemical reaction. If you believe that riding a roller coaster is terrifying, then when you get on the roller coaster, your body is going to produce adrenaline and cortisol and all of these things that are terrible for your body. It'll impact you negatively for weeks. But if you think that riding a roller coaster is wonderful, then when you get on the roller coaster, you're going to experience euphoria. And it isn't just that you experience that, your body actually produces those molecules. So if you feel like this is euphoric, your body will actually produce lorazepam. It'll produce the euphoric molecule at that time. And when you're doing that, then your body's healing itself. This is why why transcendental meditation can be so impactful to people, is because when you're putting yourself in that state of pure relaxation and you're only flooding yourself with positive things, it gets your body the opportunity to recover, and you're creating chemical responses in your body that are positive to give your body the chance to produce the chemicals that it needs. Your DNA has all of the memory in it of every ancestor that's lived before you. And if you have some sort of dis-ease in your body, chances are you have an ancestor that figured out how to respond to that. And that memory is coded in your DNA. And if you give yourself enough opportunity to rest and relax and get the proper nutrition and focus your mind in the right way, your mind can heal itself. That's Aerovedic medicine. You know, Deepak Chopra was educated classically. He was the head of, I think he was the head of surgery at the Harvard Medical School, and then he went and learned Aerovedic medicine and came back and brought Aerovedic medicine to the United States. And that's now been proven through, you know, this is a form of medicine that's been around for 4,000 years, maybe 6. But it's now been proven through DNA technology and through chemical testing that, in fact, that works. Your body does have the coded sequencing to pretty much cure anything. And if it doesn't, if you don't have that ancestor, if you allow yourself the opportunity to respond to those events from a positive way, then you'll pass it on to the next generation. So the point of all of this is your reality in your life is decided based upon the beliefs that you give to an event. It's not the event. There are plenty of people out there, if you get on YouTube, there's plenty of people that you can find that have had horrifying things happen to them, but yet they're positive. And I talked about the Holocaust survivors that I met. And, you know, the one thing that was unified about them, if you read Viktor Frankl's book, is they had a reason to survive. And they always maintained a positive outlook. To them, they would always look at this and say, I'm going to figure a way to get out of this. And what do you know, they did. And that's not to say that maybe there wasn't people that also had that belief and it didn't happen. But then they certainly controlled their response to that event in a much different way than a lot of other people were able to do it. And I doubt that any of us are going to end up in a concentration camp where we're facing certain death. We have to face things like, oh my God, I got to get through work today, and I got to figure out how to grocery shop, and I got to deal with COVID, and I got to figure out my finances. And so the reality is we probably can find a way to manage that a little bit better than maybe we have been. Your experience in your life is your choice. It's our choice to decide how we respond to events and the meaning we give to those events. And we can decide that our life is going to be a roller coaster that's euphoric, or we can decide that it's going to be a hurricane that comes and destroys us. That is entirely up to us. We can't control events, but we can control our relationship to them. Have a great Thursday, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other. Thanks for watching.